Hey guys, and thanks for joining me for yet another video. In this presentation, we're going to be taking a look at how to make Cou-Cou. Now, Cou-Cou is, the primary ingredients in Cou-Cou is cornmeal, okra, and coconut milk. The rest is made up of vegetables and made up on the stove there and then put away to set. So let's take a look at how to get into this recipe. Hey guys, and thanks for joining me for yet another video. In this presentation, we are going to be making what is considered to be turned cornmeal, and in Trinidad it is called Cou-Cou. So for this recipe, we're going to be needing a few ingredients. In here I have 8 average size okra, I have 1 carrot, 1 onion, 3 different types of peppers. I'm only going to be using half of each. I have some minced garlic here. I'm going to be using some of that. Some chicken-based seasoning. I'm going to be using butter, coconut milk, about 2 tablespoons of minced green onions, and 2 tablespoons of minced cilantro, and a cup and a half of fine cornmeal. I try to get the fine one so that it doesn't take long to cook. So it's the fine. Hey, also I have everything ready to go. I have my onion minced and ready. My carrots are finely cubed. My 3 peppers, the half of them are all cut up and minced, like finely cubed as well. I have my 2 tablespoons of cilantro, 2 tablespoons of green onion. My okra is already chopped. My cup and a half of cornmeal is measured out. I also have 2 cups of water on standby. Yeah, so that 2 cups of water needs to be hot, by the way, just so that you're keeping up with the same temperature. So just have that on the side and ready to go. You kind of have to have everything on the side ready to go. The butter, we're also going to have that ready to go. I'm just going to put a tablespoon and have it kind of prepped. My chicken-based seasoning, I'm going to be using a tablespoon at first and a tablespoon afterwards. It's going to be my only seasoning today, as well as some minced garlic. I'm going to use half a teaspoon coconut. Of course, you can't forget your star ingredient, which is your coconut milk. You will be using the entire can of this into this meal, and as well as adjusting it with some water after, to make the liquid stretch. So yeah, I'm just gonna get things going right now. We're gonna set up our stove on this, our pot on this stove, and we're gonna set our temperature. So on a medium-high fire, we're gonna put 1 tablespoon of butter into our pot, as well as 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. And we're gonna let that all disintegrate and turn into one form before we proceed with adding anything else to this. So we're gonna let this totally melt, both of them together integrated, and then we're gonna start adding our ingredients. So both the oil and the butter has melted. I'm just gonna swirl my pot around just to get it integrated into the 2 into 1. At this point, we're gonna be adding our onions to that, and our green onions and cilantro. So we're gonna add those items into there, and then we're gonna give it a mix to incorporate everything. Right after mixing in those 3 ingredients, the green onions, the cilantro, and the onion into the pot, we're going to be adding 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. And we're also going to be incorporating that with this mixture. So it's been about 2 minutes of this sauteing at this point. So now we're going to be adding a bit of our chicken-based concentrate. We're going to be adding 2 tablespoons to this, as well as we're going to be putting in our okra at this point, and our carrots. We got to get those cooked down nicely. So what we're going to do is we're going to integrate this flavor into it. So after that 5 minutes has passed of sauteing these vegetables in that seasoning, we're going to be adding in our coconut milk. So we're going to add the full can of coconut milk to this. I'm going to also be using the water. I'm going to take some of that hot water and rinse this can. I have 2 cups of water here. but I'm probably not gonna be using the full 2 cups. I'll use about 1 cup. Allow this whole thing to come to a boil. Like this coconut is gonna melt out, and we're gonna let this actually come to a boil before we time it. So for the final steps after the fact that the Cou-Cou is cooked, we're gonna be needing a Pyrex dish or whatever dish you decide to set it in. So in here I put 1 teaspoon of butter, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spread this butter around this entire dish. This is a required step in order to have your Cou-Cou set in it when it's done. So I'm just gonna massage in this butter into this dish until the whole thing's covered with butter. So my rolling boil has started developing. So what I'm gonna do at this point is we're gonna set a 5-minute timer, and just so we can let these okras cook out a little bit more. At this point, it is also safe to add in your peppers. So we'll leave the peppers in there with the fire. Once you added in the peppers right there, before you set your 5-minute timer, you're gonna give it a mix, and you're gonna allow this to cook for 5 minutes before we move on to the next step. So my 5 minutes has passed, guys. At this point, we're gonna be moving really fast. I'll tell you from the start, you're gonna need your a whisk in order to mix in your cornmeal. You're gonna have your cornmeal ready on standby. You're gonna have your hot water, 1 cup remaining on standby. And we're gonna also turn our stove down from very medium to medium low. So now we're gonna be getting ready to put in our cornmeal. So first thing first, we're gonna put in about half of this. And like I said, you're gonna have to move really fast with your whisk because you don't want clumps. So you're gonna start whisking this in. Whisking in this cornmeal into this mixture that you have going on here. You're also going to add in the other half right away and mix that in as well. Whisk away. Like I said, after adding in that next half, you're gonna need to whisk. Now it's getting really thick, and it gets thick on you very fast. So my suggestion would be to add half of that 1 cup of water that you have left, and still continue to whisk in your ingredients. So you're gonna go in with your whisk and whisk this in. Your cornmeal has to cook, so you're gonna be right there standing up with it, helping it along. So you're gonna keep whisking this while you're standing. Yeah, so you don't stop whisking or else your stuff's gonna start burning. You wanna stay on top of it so that everything cooks nicely. So you're gonna stay whisking it, shake off your whisk ever so often and whisk it in. To me, this is starting to look good. I'm gonna add a little bit more water, not too much, just like a little bit, just spread it around of that 1 cup. Remember, we added half first, so we added a half of the next half. And we're gonna whisk away some more. If you want to time how long it would take to cook this, it would take about average 8 to 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes I think, on fine cornmeal. If it's fine cornmeal, it'll take about maximum 10 minutes. So we're gonna keep stirring this in from the sides and everything, giving it a good mix, helping this cook. To me, it doesn't need anything else right now, just it needs you to stay on top of it, mixing it for the full 10 minutes that you're standing there. Hey guys, so I'm back. My cornmeal has been going for say about a good it's almost 8 minutes now. So to me, it's pretty much cooked. It all depends on your temperature. It depends on the cornmeal that you have. It depends on a lot, but I'm gonna show you how I know it's fine because we're going for a texture. So I'm gonna show you the texture so you know that the cornmeal is pretty much cooked. You see how it's nice and smooth. So this is cooked to my liking at this point. So right now I'm gonna be turning off the stove. It took 9 minutes to get this fully cooked the way I like. So we're gonna turn the stove off, and then we're going to take our mixture over to our greased pot, the grease bowl that we have, the Pyrex dish that we have waiting, and we're gonna pour it into our Pyrex dish and then spread it in the bowl so that it can set and form nicely. So our Pyrex dish that has been greased, we're gonna just be transferring over our cooked cornmeal into it, and then we're going to press it out so that it forms the shape of this bowl. So I'm gonna just be, you're gonna see me like pressing this out to get the shape. Now if you want it super smooth, a trick is you can put a tad bit of butter on the top, and this will help it all spread nicely. So you put a tad bit on the back of your spoon, and it will definitely close out all those little creases and crevices for you. So that's the reason why we greased the bowl in the first place. So I just wanted to come back and show you that the consistency or how this looks when it's all smoothened out around your bowl. So yeah, this is all done. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna allow this to cool down to the point where it's able to be cut and it stands firmly by itself. So it's pretty much done. So I'm just gonna be covering this down and allowing it to cool for at least an hour before I could try and cut it.